On Sunday. Thanks for your company. Peter Mitchell back with the news tomorrow night. But now here's Naomi with a special guest tonight.
That's right, I do have a special guest tonight, David, and good evening to you. In a moment, Crown boss Lloyd Williams live in the studio. But also tonight, loving motherhood, the grandmother who's just given birth and says she wants to have another baby.
It's weird.
She is beautiful, but I'm a bit biased.
Are you going to call her Auntie Caitlin?
No, just Caitlin.
Grousefield.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And Speckies and Super Boots, the boys from Richmond Football Club, join our hunt for a suburban star.
You Brisbane Lions fan?
Yep.
Not good enough. Get back to Brisbane, mate.
But first, 1 year ago, Melbourne was treated to a spectacular event on the banks of the Yarra with the opening of Crown Casino. But you'd hardly say the past 12 months have been one long party for Crown boss Lloyd Williams. He's had to deal with continuing criticism of the size of the casino and its impact on Melbourne, coupled with a plunge in profits and the effects of the Asian economic collapse. So what's the first year been like? Well, Lloyd Williams is here with me now, and Lloyd, I suppose I should say happy birthday.
Thanks,
but has it been a happy birthday?
Yes, it's been great actually. You know, we've really enjoyed the last 12 months. You know, we've had obviously we've had some setbacks as you've just described, but you know, generally speaking, we've got a great product. It's a great building. We've got great employees, and you know, that's the satisfying part of it. It's
been a tough year, and there was a moment a couple of weeks ago actually when it looked like you may not be going to make it to Crown's first birthday as chairman.
Well, no, I don't think that was ever right. You know, that's you know, you're relying on the print media, and they've obviously you know, they never let the facts get in the way of a good story, do they? So no, that was never right.
So what happened there? Where did that speculation come from?
Well, I've got no idea, but you know, people write stories, and there was no fact to that story whatsoever. You know, we control 35% of Crown, so that, you know, that was no fact to that whatsoever.
So you won't be standing down. You believe you're the right person for the job as chairman?
Well, you know, we've created a great product here, and you know, I think that you know, if you've seen some of the other products in other parts of the world, and we've had a lot of international visitors here, and this product's been endorsed internationally. It's been endorsed by Melburnians. You know,
but what about your chairmanship? You won't be standing down?
No, I won't be standing down, Naomi. No, I'm here with you for quite some time. You know, if you think there's something, I think I'm looking okay at the moment, aren't I? So I'm certainly, you know, I'm here for the long duration.
Did the speculation about you standing down hurt you?
Well, no, I've got used to all the criticism. You know, since Crown's opened 4 years ago, generally, you know, we've never been out of the media. So, you know, you get used to it after a while. You know, you obviously could do without it.
Although you don't talk to us much, do you?
No, we prefer not to.
You're very elusive, I'd have to say.
We prefer not to, but well, I really enjoy talking to you, Naomi.
Well, I'm glad you do. Look, there have been a number of low points for Crown over the past year. Speculation about your job recently, the share price plunging from $2.84 to 62 cents as it is today. Mm-hmm. And not the least either, the Asian economic collapse, which has obviously hurt Crown, hasn't it? Well,
that's been the big thing. You know, if we were talking at this time last year, you know, through May, June, July, we looked as if we had a very major business internationally. You know, it's 40 or 50% of our business. You know, now in Asia, they're having serious problems, and you know, that's affected our business substantially. But you know, we've restructured the business very substantially. Well, you know, revenues are off. You know, well documented. Revenues are off 20 or 30%. But we've restructured the business. And I'm very confident as we look forward, because if we didn't have the right product and if we didn't have the right employees, we wouldn't have a great business, but we have, and we've got a wonderful product.
Well, you're not making a profit, are you?
No, but I think that, you know, 1998, 1999 looks, you know, quite good as far as we're concerned. You know, we've had to go through some pain, but, you know, this is a very major enterprise. You know, there's 9,000 people down there. It's not unusual to find a business of this size to have the first 12 months of teething problems. You know, we've had the added problem of the Asian crisis, but you know, when you look at some of the great projects, and I mentioned this earlier today, you know, you look at a project like the North West Shelf, you know, a great Australian infrastructure project. You know, it took 4 or 5 years to come on stream. You know, you look at...
So when do you expect to turn Crown around?
I think that as you look forward into the next 12 months, I think Crown's are looking, you know, the future's looking quite good. You know, if you were talking to me in 5 years' time here, I think Crown will be looking wonderful.
Now, a year ago, your main emphasis for making money from the casino was the Asian high rollers, but one, they've made a lot more money than you predicted, and they don't have the money they had a year ago. So how can you make up for this loss in revenue? For instance, will you be shifting your emphasis, and will you be trying to drag in more Melburnians for a punt?
Well, no, our Melbourne market's, is a very stable urban market we've got here. Principally, more than 50% of the people that come to the casino complex for the entertainment value of there rather than the straight gambling. But we've restructured the business. We've downsized, as you might say. We've fitting costs to revenue, and basically the business is, in a shape, in the restructured shape. I'm fairly optimistic about it.
Well, talking about costs, the cost of the casino blew out from 650 million to 2.3 billion.
Well, the costs didn't. Just going to correct you there, if I may.
Weren't initial predictions around 650 million?
No, but it's a totally different building. The building was.
Well, that's right. There were so many changes that were made, weren't there?
A very substantially different building.
Do you regret that?
Not really, no, because one of the things that I strive for in everything I do is excellence. And what I wanted to produce, I was born here in Melbourne. I wanted to produce something that was better than anything else in any other part of the world. And I've seen all the product in the rest of the world, and frankly, we have something here in Melbourne that's better than anything else that I've actually seen that's completed at this particular moment. I'm particularly proud of that.
So, when you were growing up, did you feel like you had to prove something?
Well, I've always been ambitious. I've always been.
And this certainly was an ambitious project.
It's an ambitious project, and I think that in the fullness of time, the decision will be proved to be correct, because the prizes in the future are only for doing things. Mediocrity. People don't survive with mediocrity, and we've developed something here that is world class. It's a world class icon.
So what about friends? A lot has been made of your friends. You have very powerful and influential friends: Ron Walker, Lindsay Fox, the Grollo brothers, Jeff Kennett, Kerry Packer, just to name a few. And the critics have implied that you wouldn't be where you were without your friends.
I've got good friends, Naomi.
Yeah, you certainly do. They talk about mates rates, jobs for the boys, and even this morning the Labor Gaming spokesman Rob Hulls was implying that you discussed the casino tendering process with Jeff Kennett.
Let's correct that. What I said this morning to Naomi, to Rob Hulls, was that I wanted to make something very clear to him so that he understood it once and for all. Throughout the tendering process for the Melbourne casino, I never spoke to Jeff Kennett, or Jeff Kennett never spoke to me about the tendering process. And I was trying to make that very clear to Rob Hulls today, because he's made insinuations under parliamentary privilege that Jeff Kennett at some stage had spoken to either Ron Walker or myself about the process. I'm sitting here tonight looking at you squarely in the eyes, and I want to tell you very clearly, and your audience, that Jeff Kennett never spoke to me about this casino tendering process until the licence was awarded. And that was the point I was making to Rob Hulls, and I was suggesting to him that he shouldn't make comments unless he wishes to make them in an open forum, not under parliamentary privilege. And that's the fact.
Well, we're running out of time. So we want to know, what's the future for Crown and for yourself?
Well, I think the future for Crown is very bright. I think, I re-emphasise to you, it's a great product. We have great people working for us, and I think that, in 3 to 5 years' time, you'll be very proud of it. Sydney was very proud after 5 years of the Opera House. For the first 3 to 5 years, all they wanted to do was criticise it. It's a great entertainment complex, Crown.
Okay, Lloyd, and I'm sure you'd say that, but thank you very much for coming in today, and happy birthday.
Naomi, thank you very much. Great to be here.
Coming up after the break, the Melbourne grandmother who's just become a mother again.